So what you see before you is a Geissele Automatics 2-stage trigger. It's the SSA. It's a 4.5 pound pull. I think a 2.5 pound initial stage, a 2 pound brake. Let's see what comes in this box here. This is a new camera, by the way, so there's a bunch of weird stuff. Let's see. ALG Go Juice, your go-to firearm lubricant. That's interesting. What else? Got some patches. I'll probably include that in my next giveaway. Looks like some kind of pin retaining system. Make sure and lose those immediately. I think a zipper thing. I'll put that in my giveaway as well. That as well. Trigger installation. A trigger installation guide. That's cool. Let's see what kind of quality we're dealing with here. Ooh, yeah, the spring feels nice and tight. The finish is wonderful. Let me get some more light on the subject here. I don't know, it just looks really nice. Very high quality. All the springs, it just feels precision. Pretty standard hammer spring there. Looks like the engagement surfaces have been surface treated. So you probably already know what to expect out of this kind of a quality product. Very exacting tolerances. I had this in my first build. This is an Anderson trigger unit. The disconnector actually broke. So I don't trust it anymore. And Anderson is sending me replacement parts, so that's cool. But it will now be a backup unit. I also do have this ALG, which is going to also be a backup unit, but we are going to install this trigger unit in this lower. So first of all, this little thing right here is retained by the pin. So you're going to have to push that down and line it up like so in order to get this thing in there. Let's do this without any kind of extra tools here. Now, that's good. I hate trigger units that you have to remove the sear, or not the sear, but the safety. So all we're gonna do is stick it down in there, pop it through the little trigger hole, replace the disconnector. We're gonna pull down until we can see the hole right through here. We're gonna put one of the pins in here. Doesn't matter which way, and just literally push down the disconnector and kind of wiggle it around until you can line it up perfectly. And you can look on the other side and actually see if everything's lining up properly. And it looks like the disconnector is kind of in the way. And this kind of stuff should not require like you should be able to just push it in. You know, you don't need any tools. You don't need a hammer. Right there. Okay, so that's in there. And this is, I'm not going to put an anti-rotation. Oh wow, that feels nice and stiff. I like that. I'm not going to put any anti-rotation pins in this time because if you've seen my last video, you saw that I didn't have trouble getting the pins out in the field, and I want to retain that ability. So right here, it appears that these pins go inside the sort of mainspring, and it looks like there's a single cutout. So I'm assuming that one of these is just extra, so such as that. The cut portion of the spring is towards us. We want to make sure and lubricate. See down there where that little bit of wear is already? Not wear, but the little bit of juice. Want to make sure and put some juice on that surface. Some go juice! On any surface that a part meets with another steel part or metal part or whatever part, you want to put some lubrication on there. Like, because under recoil, all this stuff is going to move, and then especially the trigger group, because it's going to be bap, 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 you know, depending on how aggressive you are with the trigger there. So let's put it in there. You want this portion of the spring here, like sitting on the pin that you installed just previously, the trigger pin, on the outermost edges. You know what? I'm trying to go on the wrong side here. Flip your receiver around, because that pin is right there. So we're going to go from this side here. There it is. Okay, so I just got the very end of it. Now we got to work it in there. So at this point, when you got your pin right there, Then you want to look on the other side here, and then sort of push your hammer or you know, in whatever direction the pin actually needs to go. So in my case, it just needs to pop that way. Doesn't seem to be wanting to go in with it super easy for us, so I'm just going to push it really hard with my thumb. Okay, got that. There we go. So you want to make sure that once you have your trigger and your hammer installed, that you do have full functionality of the trigger and the hammer, because sometimes bad things happen, right? And they let a couple slide, right? So you want to hold your hammer the entire time. Do not let this hammer hit here, because it can crack your receiver. I'm sure it wouldn't if you did an accident. Don't worry about it if it was once or twice or even 3 times. But if you do that like all the time, it will crack your receiver or damage your bolt catch here. You want to make sure that, first of all, that it locks without touching the trigger at all. Make sure that it locks, okay? Then while holding the hammer, you want to pull the trigger. Make sure it releases. And then now, while holding the trigger, you want to make sure it locks. And then when you release it, you want to make sure it locks. Like that. Do it a couple times, and that is an amazing trigger. That feels great. So everything's installed properly. You've successfully installed your own trigger pack or trigger unit or trigger group, whatever you want to call it. And hope you enjoyed this little tutorial / look at the Geissele SSA trigger group. Have a good day. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.